Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter of class 7th Science NCERT book, that is Nutrition in Plants. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So children, we have discussed about the nutrition, the word nutrition, which means that how the organisms are able to get their food, and then how this food is going to be broken down into small portions, and then how the energy is being released, and then how it is being distributed among the organism's body. Okay, whether the organism is plant or an animal, both of them requires food, but the mode of nutrition is different in both, in plants also as well as in the animals also. So we are studying with the nutrition in plants. So in plants there are two types of plants. One is the green plant, another one is the non-green plant. So if we talk about the green plants, it is undergoing one mode of nutrition that is said to be as the autotrophic mode of nutrition, and some plants which are non-green in nature, they are undergoing the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, under which we have studied first heterotrophic mode of nutrition was saprophytic mode of nutrition. Then we have studied about the parasitic mode of nutrition, and also we have studied about the symbiotic relationship. Okay, where two organisms are living together, because of which what happens, they are going to share their food as well as their shelter. Okay, so this was about the things which we have studied. Then after that we have also seen that this nitrogen is required for the plants, and now this nitrogen is being taken up by the plants by various ways. So one of the way is taken up by the insectivorous plants, where insectivorous plants are trapping the insects, because of which they are fulfilling the requirement of the nitrogen. Okay, so where is this nitrogen present in the insect? The insect consists, they have nitrogen in their wings. So when the insect is being digested inside the insectivorous plants, so what happens, they are going to gain the nitrogen. Similarly, if nitrogen is present, it is present in the atmosphere. So from the atmosphere, it is the organisms, the microorganisms are there, that is the bacteriums are there. These bacteria are going to synthesize they are going to take up the atmospheric nitrogen, and then they are going to break down that nitrogen into smaller pieces, or these are the solvents, these small types of the nutrients which is being converted from the nitrogen, that is nitrites and the nitrates. They are going to after breaking down of this nitrogen to nitrites and nitrates, these are the simpler forms which could be absorbed by the roots of the plants. Now here two symbiotic relationships we have studied. One was of lichen, another one is of this rhizobium bacteria with the root nodules of the higher plants. Okay, then after that we have also seen about how this saprotrophs are grown. Then after that we have also studied about the keywords which is there in your book. Okay, then after that in this video I'll tell you about I'll take up a small revision of this. That is what we have learned. So there are certain given sentences over here which we have already studied. I just quickly read it out for you all. So first one is, all organisms need food and utilize it to get energy for growth and maintenance of their body. So we require food. It is said that we require food for the growth and maintenance. For growth and maintenance of the body. Okay, so food is required for growth and maintenance. Okay, there are many other factors which is responsible for the because of which the food is required. So there is a requirement of the food. Then why? So here what happens, the food is present which is useful for the growth and the maintenance. Okay, there are other functions also of the food. So we have to study only about the growth and maintenance over here. Okay, then after that, green plants synthesize food for themselves. Now green plants are those which are going to synthesize their food because they are undergoing the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now if they are undergoing the autotrophic mode of nutrition, it means that they are going to synthesize the food from the inorganic material, that is carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, then after that these autotrophs they will undergo autotrophic mode of nutrition, and only the green plants are said to be as the autotrophs. Okay, so please remember that green plants are only the autotrophs which undergo autotrophic mode of nutrition. After that, the plants like cuscuta and parasites, they will take up the food from the host. So cuscuta is a parasite. Cuscuta is a parasite which take up the food from host. Okay, so please understand that this cuscuta is a plant which is a partially heterotrophic in nature. So if they are heterotrophic in nature, which means that they will undergo, they are going to take up the food from the host, they are going to steal the food from the host. Okay, then plants use simpler chemicals like carbon dioxide, water, minerals to synthesize their food. As we have seen that carbon dioxide, CO2 plus H2O, under the presence of sunlight, then chlorophyll, then it is going to synthesize the food, that is starch, in the form of, it could be in the form of glucose, it could be in the form of proteins, it could be in the form of oils. Okay, then oxygen is being released. So these are the ways by which, this is the way that is said to be as a photosynthesis, because of which the green plants are making their food. Okay, then afterwards, next thing is it, the food, that is chlorophyll, water, and these are the essential requirements which is being taken up by the different plants. Now the next thing is that the solar energy complex foods such as carbohydrates are the products of the photosynthesis. So carbohydrates are the products of the photosynthesis. Why we are saying this? Because here this starch, glucose, all these are the types of carbohydrate. So these carbohydrate are the forms of the food which is being prepared after the process of photosynthesis. Okay, that is why it is said to be as the carbohydrate is a type of food which is being synthesized by these plants. Okay, then after that, solar energy is absorbed by the chlorophyll present in the leaves in the plants. Now from where is this chlorophyll getting synthesized? So this chlorophyll is present in the green leaves, green part of the plant, and this is going to help the plants to trap the sun's energy. Okay, then after that, oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. As you could see here in the reaction, oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis. Okay, as a result of photosynthesis, the oxygen is being released. Then after that, the release of the oxygen is released in the photosynthesis and is utilized by the living organisms for their survival. Now where is this oxygen going? This oxygen is being utilized by the plants, because by the animals, because they all require the oxygen. Fine. Now after that, oxygen which is being released, which is utilized by the animals. As we all are the human beings also, and comes under the form of they are also the forms of the animals. So what happens? We all require oxygen. So we'll take up the oxygen. From where we are taking up the oxygen? We'll take up the oxygen from the by the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Then many fungi derive nutrition from dead and decaying matter. They are going to synthesize they are going to derive nutrition from the dead and decaying organic matter. That is said to be as the saprophytes. Okay, they are known as the saprotrophs because they are obtaining the nutrition from the dead and decaying remains. Then next is, many fungi derive nutrition from dead and decaying remains. Fungi are the saprotrophs. Okay children, then next is, a few plants and the animals are dependent upon others for their nutrition and are known as heterotrophs. So if the plants are there, a few plants or animals are there, they are dependent upon others for their nutrition, and that is said to be as the heterotrophs. Okay, they are known as the heterotrophs because they are taking up the nutrition. Now we will go on to the next part, that is the exercises of this chapter. So children, with this your chapter's explanation is complete. Now I'm going to move on to the next part of this chapter, that is the exercises part. So we'll move on to this exercises. Okay, so we will do the exercises. Oh, I'm so sorry. So we'll move on to the exercises part. Find the first question. Why do organisms take up food? So organisms are taking up food because they require food for the growth. Food is required for the growth and maintenance. Okay, maintaining their body, or we can simply write food is required for survival. Fine, it is required for survival. Now next what we will study is the second question. So question number 2 is distinguish between the parasites and the saprotrophs. Parasite and the saprotrophs. PHS. Okay. What are parasites and saprotrophs? So first you are going to write that parasites are going to take up nutrition from host. But here saprotrophs are those which will take up their nutrition from dead and decaying remains. Okay, then first part is this. Then second, it could be parasites. They are green plants. Okay, but here next thing is that they are non-green. They are always non-green plants. Okay, then next, they can undergo a food atrophic mode of nutrition also, but here they are always non-green plants. Parasites will always kill the host. Most of the times they are going to kill the host, so it is going to affect badly. But in this case what happens, they are not going to kill the host. Okay, then after that next could be the next part could be sometimes these parasites could be they are going to kill the host, but here what happens, they are not going to kill the host. So these are the main differences. And next you can write down the examples. Parasite example is Cuscuta, and here the examples could be the fungi. Okay, there could be fungi. So this was about the second question. Now I move on to the third question. So you also have to write down the differences in this manner only, where you will divide the page into two halves and then you can write down the differences. Okay. Then the next question is question number 3. How can you test the presence of starch in the leaves? So here one activity is already given where you will keep the plants for 2 days in the dark and 1 in the sunlight. Then what happens, you will take up the leaves from there and then you will perform the starch test. You will put the iodine solution on it, and the plant which was present in the daytime, it is going to give the result as blue-black color would be formed, whereas in the plants where the plants was not present in the daytime, it was present during the night time, all the starch was used up. That is why what happened, the green plants, these iodine test was not positive over there. So during night time the starch is not produced, only the daytime the starch is being produced. That is why it is going to give blue-black color with the iodine solution. So starch always give blue-black color with iodine. Okay, so this is what is about question number 3. Fine. Now the next is question number 4. For this you can see the question first. Give a brief description of photosynthesis, process of synthesis of food in the green plants. So here what you will write down, you are going to write down the reaction. Just now I have just now told you the reaction of photosynthesis. So which means it is a process. You will define it. You will define this photosynthesis, which means that it is a process by which green plants are going to make their own food in the presence of carbon dioxide, sunlight, water. Okay, so these are the these are the ways by which photosynthesis is going to be done. The next is you will write down the process of photosynthesis. You will write down the reaction, and you will make a diagram. It has already been given over here. You will utilize that all these, the raw materials of photosynthesis is always taken up by the green plants, and then during photosynthesis chlorophyll is required. Then the reactions, then the carbon dioxide, water is being gained up from the different parts of the plant and from the surrounding. So carbon dioxide is taken up by the stomata from the surrounding. Similarly, water is being taken up from the these are taken up by the organisms. These are taken up by the plants from the roots, okay, from with the help of the soil. So, and you have to make one diagram to show photosynthesis. Fine. Then the question number 5th. Question number 5th is, show with the help of a sketch that plants are the ultimate source of energy of food. Okay, you will draw one food chain where you will show that the organs, the sun is there, sunlight is there. Okay, it has been taken up by the grass, it is taken up by the deer, it is taken up by the lion. Fine, so this is what is about, and you will show it diagrammatically. So this is about for the 5th question, and it is very easy. It is given over there in your book also. You can draw this, and even I have also shared some of the answers in your online class also. From there you can write down. Okay, already we have discussed it once. The next question, question number 6 is fill in the blanks. I'll just rub it off so that I'll get some space to write. So next is question number 6. It is fill in the blanks. So the first question of fill in the blanks is, green plants are also called dash. Since they synthesize their own food, they are also called autotrophs. Okay, they are also called autotrophs. Fine. Now the next question is, the food synthesized by the plants are stored as starch. Okay, it is stored as starch. Please remember, it is synthesized in the form of carbohydrate, but it is also stored as starch. Okay, next, the storage food product is always the starch. Then next is C. In photosynthesis, solar energy is absorbed by the pigment called chlorophyll. It is also called chlorophyll. Okay, so the green pigment which is synthesized, which absorbs light, is always the chlorophyll. Then next is, during photosynthesis, plants take up dash and releases dash gas. So plants always take up carbon dioxide and releases oxygen gas. Okay, so this is about D. Then with this, your fill in the blanks is also over, and then the next question is question number 7th, which is name the following. Okay, again this is very easy. Question number 7, name the following. So the first question is, parasitic plants with yellow slender stem with a branched stem is Cuscuta. First is Cuscuta. Okay, then next, the plant that is totally autotrophic in nature. It is partially autotrophic in nature. So the answer is insectivorous plants. Fine. Then the third question is, the pores through which the gases are being exchanged in the leaves. So the answer is stomata. Okay, so these are the 3 answers. The first one is a parasitic plant, which is Cuscuta. Then next is the plant which is partially autotrophic in nature. That is the pitcher plant, or you can write down the examples of the insectivorous, any of the example of insectivorous plants. And the last is the pores through which the leaves are exchanging the gases, said to be as stomata. Okay, then next is tick the correct option. So the first is, then next is answer number 8. Answer number 8. Here, tick the correct statement. Cuscuta is an example of autotrophs. No. Then parasites, saprotrophs and host. So the Cuscuta is always a parasite. So the answer is second. For first one, A, second, that is parasite. Please remember, only one you have to study, that is Cuscuta. Then for question number B, the plant which traps and feeds the insect is Cuscuta, China rose and pitcher plant. So the answer is pitcher plant, which is fourth one. Okay, it is It is third, okay, it is third. I'm so sorry. This is wrongly given in your book. You can mark it as third. So the third option, that is pitcher plant, is the correct one. Okay, so this was about question number 8. That is tick the correct option. Okay, with this, now I move on to the next question. That is question number 7. Okay, question number 7. So the first question is, this is question number 9. That is match the column. Fine. So the first question you will match the column. The first one is chlorophyll. It will be matched with chlorophyll is present in the leaves. Okay. Then B, nitrogen. Nitrogen is going to be present as rhizobium. Then third, cuscata. Cuscata is one of the parasite. Then D is animals. Animals are heterotrophs. Then E, insect. Insect is eaten by pitcher plant. Okay, it is eaten by pitcher plant. So this is what is about the match the column. Chlorophyll will be matched with leaves. Then nitrogen will be matched with the bacterium, that is rhizobium, which fixes nitrogen. Cuscata will be matched with parasite because it is a parasitic plant. Then animals are heterotrophs and insects are being eaten by the parasites. Fine. Now the next question is mark true or false. Question number 10. Question number 10. That is true or false. First one. Carbon dioxide is released during photosynthesis. Is it true or not? Carbon dioxide is released? No, it's false. First one is false because oxygen is released. For plants which synthesize their food are called saprotrophs. No, this is again a false statement. So second one is also false because parasites, the plants who synthesize their own food, they are called as autotrophs. Okay, so this is again a wrong statement. The next is the plant products. The product of the photosynthesis is not a protein. Then third is false. Again, this is a false statement. The end product is not a protein. Oh, this is true. Yes, this is true because the end product is always a carbohydrate. It is a starch. Fine. Now the fourth is solar energy is converted into chemical energy during photosynthesis. Solar energy is converted during chemical energy. Yes, this is true. So why the solar energy is being converted in the form of chemical energy? Because sun's energy is being converted in the form of the starch and glucose, which is said to be as the chlorophyll. Okay, which is said to be as the chemical reaction. Okay. Then next is choose the correct option from the following. Question number 11th. Question number 11 is choose the correct option from the following. Okay, I'll just rub it off because I think it's not visible. So, question number 11th. Fine. Now here, choose the correct option you have to study. So, in this you will write down as plants like carbon dioxide and atmosphere mainly through their plants take up carbon dioxide. No, this is not the question. Question number 11 is which of the part of the plant takes up carbon dioxide from the air for photosynthesis? So the options are root hair. Is the plant going to take up the carbon dioxide from the air? No. From where? Root hairs is the right answer? No. Then stomata, then leaf veins, then petals. So stomata is the right answer. Second one is stomata. So the answer is stomata. Okay, because stomatas are the tiny pores which are present on the surface of the leaves, and they are present on both the surfaces, upper surface as well as the lower surfaces, because of which what happens, they are going to take up the oxygen from the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. They will release oxygen in the atmosphere, and then they are going to use up these things for making the food, that is photosynthesis. Okay, the next question number 12. which tells you, again it is to choose the correct option. Choose the correct option from the following. Plants take up carbon dioxide from the atmosphere mainly through their, from where is this carbon dioxide being taken up? So carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. अब एटमॉस्फेयर से कैसे प्लांट के अंदर जाएगा? तो दिस इज अ बिग क्वेश्चन. सो वी गॉट द आंसर दैट अगेन द एटमॉस्फेयर where the carbon dioxide is present is taken up by the plants with the help of stomata. Again it is taken up with the help of stomata. Okay, now here the options given are, the first one is the root. Is it so that root takes up carbon dioxide? No. Then stem, no, it is again not taking up the carbon dioxide. The next is flowers. So flowers are also not taking up carbon dioxide. Okay, the next is the leaves. So answer is leaves. So the option number last, that is fourth, leaves is the right answer. Okay, so leaves are the right answer for this question. So here what happens, the carbon dioxide, oxygen, all these are taken up by the stomata, and stomata is present where? Stomata is present in the leaves. So the leaves is the right answer for this question. Now I move on to the last question, that is question number 12. Question number 12 or no, it's 13th. Question number 13. Again, this is the answer for the question. Okay, question answer part. So the last question is question number 13th, which is, why do farmers grow many fruits and vegetable crops inside a large greenhouse? What are the advantages to these to the farmers? What are the advantages to the farmers? So why do farmers grow fruits and vegetables crop? So farmers grow fruits and vegetables under or inside greenhouse, inside a glass house. Actually this is written. Okay, so inside a glass house, it is large greenhouses. So children, greenhouse is a house made up of glass. It is made up of glass house, and this entraps sun's energy. Okay, now what happens, actually this glass house has a tendency, glass has a property. What property it is having? It has a property, उसकी एक अच्छाई होती है. क्या अच्छाई है? कि whatever the sun's rays are coming inside this glass house, this is going to entrap whatever sun's energy, whatever sunlight it is receiving. So glass has a tendency that it receives sunlight. जितना sunlight अंदर जाएगा, but it is not going to radiate the heat outside. It is going to trap the heat inside. So it traps the heat. So because of which the proper temperature is maintained. Temperature is maintained. Okay, so the temperature is maintained. Because of the maintenance of the temperature, what happens? This energy, this is going to entrap the energy, and this is going to use up. This helps in maintaining the proper temperature. Okay, this helps in maintaining the proper temperature. Now, because of the maintenance of the proper temperature, because of proper temperature, the plants can grow. Plants can grow properly, and in any season we can grow the plants. This is what is the use of this glass house. Now children, where are these glass houses present? So the glass houses are present always on the place where the sun's energy is available, but it is not available all the time. Means at the hilly areas where the sun's energy is not received, it is not going to be used. So there in the hilly areas it is being present, and it helps in the farmers to grow all the types of crops in that particular season. Okay, in any season it could grow. Fine. Now what happens, the farmers there, the glass houses are present, big houses are there, it is made up of the glass. Okay, now what happens, they are going to help, this is going to help the farmer because it maintains the temperature. So this glass house maintains the temperature. So what is the use of this glass house? The use of this glass house, the advantage to the farmer, it could be that it could grow variety of crops. It could grow variety of crops. Then next, it could grow many types of crops at one place. That is a variety. It could grow all the crops in all the seasons. Any type of crops. So children, this was the advantage to the farmers, and now you can easily understand that these types of crops, any types of crops could be grown in the hilly areas. So the next part is that in the hilly areas, they can grow the types of crops. Okay, because here the temperature is not very cold, so that in the cold temperature the plants could die. That is why they can grow any type of crops in the hilly areas. So this was all about your chapter first, that was nutrition in plants in class 7th. So children, with this your chapter is complete. You can complete the question answers, you can draw the diagram which are present. I'll discuss the diagrams to be drawn in your online class, and I'll tell you how many questions are required which will be drawn with the help of the diagrams. You have to explain. Okay, some direct questions are there, but some of the questions you are going to draw the diagram. Fine. So that was all about today's video. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed. That would be a new chapter. So children, please complete your answers and ask your doubts in your online class. So that's all for today. I will come up with another video in the next class. Thank you for watching the video.